Hey, what's up guys? Sloth King here. Today we are going to be working on the 2009 V6 Ford Mustang, and we are going to be replacing the fuel filter today. So the car is just at 149,000 miles and the fuel filter has not been changed. Gonna go ahead and replace it. It's actually easier than you think. So let me go ahead and get the car up on jack stands and let's get right into it. All right, so the Mustang is up in the air. And if you guys don't know the jacking points on here, if you put your jack right under the middle of the front of the car, you're going to see the subframe right there. And then you're going to see some notches. That's where you put your floor jack. That's where you jack it up at. And then right over here, this is where you place your jack stands. There's going to be a cutout here that you put your jack in between the pinch weld, and then you're good to go. So the tools that you're going to need, it's actually really simple. You will need some sort of catch pan to catch any fuel that comes out. You will actually just need a 10mm socket, ratchet. You will need a flathead screwdriver. I highly recommend using some gloves. You need some rags, brake parts cleaner, and then your fuel filter. So I'm using the OEM Ford Motorcraft fuel filter. I will have this part linked in the description below. So let's start tackling this. I also forgot to mention you will need some trim removal tools, or you can get by with a screwdriver, but you might damage the clip and break it. So if you just use some of these trim removal tools to pop the clips off, it'd be a lot easier. All right, so on the driver's side of the car, right by the door, you're going to see this sheathing right here. It's actually made of plastic, and you're gonna have one 10mm bolt or nut right here, and then you're gonna see one stud here, and then you're gonna have one stud right over on this side, both 10mm. Remove those, and then you will have one pop clip located right on this side, and then there should be one more. There's one more located somewhere else, and then you're just gonna have these like plastic little tabs that like pop through that you're just gonna wedge down whenever we get the actual bolts off. All right, that first one is out. If these studs are rusty, you can throw some PV Blaster on it before you take those off. It'll be a lot easier. All right, that one is out. Next, let's go ahead and take our pop clip off. All right, let's see if this one fits under it. There we go. See, just one of those pop clips. And then next, let's take out this other 10mm. All right, that bolt is out. Now, the only thing that's holding it on is these like tabs. So we're just gonna take it, wiggle it. That one is free. And then there's gonna be one over on the front side over here. Oh, I forgot, there is actually a 10mm bolt right over on the side, over on this side. You'll feel it on this cover if you follow it over. And it is a bolt. All right, now we can go ahead and take this cover and pop it off the rest of the way. Oh, this tab is awful. Jesus. Jeez. There we go. It was wedged right in between this part of the subframe. It's like right underneath the fuel rail that it was wedged in. So you just have to like really wedge it out. I mean, you could have just pulled it down and then had access to the fuel pump right here. I mean, not fuel pump, fuel filter. But yeah, anyway, so let's move on. So a lot of people say and recommend that you need to remove the fuel pump relay and then go and crank the engine over just to relieve some of the fuel pressure in the lines. You technically don't need to do that. As long as you come back here, open up your gas tank, it'll let out any residual pressure. It's not gonna be a whole lot. As long as you didn't run your car like a few hours beforehand, the fuel pressure will slowly decline. So if you're doing it like the next day that you drove the car, you're gonna be fine regardless. But if you wanna do that, you can go pull the fuel pump relay, try to start the car. It's supposed to relieve the pressure on the lines. As long as you just have the gas tank open, any pressure that was in the lines is going to get reduced. So let's go ahead and pop these lines off and get our new filter on. All right, so what you're gonna do next is there's going to be some quick release tabs on the lines right here. So if you look underneath it, you can barely see it on camera, but there's a little green button that you push in. You can push it in by hand, or you can get a flathead screwdriver and just push it in, and then it will release. It's gonna be a little tricky. I can do the front one so you can kind of see it a little bit better. Get the tab pushed in. There we go. And then get your pan ready. And then let the fuel drain. It's not that much. And then we can get the back one. Oh, that was really like stuck in there. Jesus. Here we go. There we go. Let it drain for a second so you don't get splashed. Nice. And then you can just slide the old one out. Make sure the fuel goes inside of the pan. I'm gonna just sit in there and drain. And then we can grab our new filter. All right, our old filter was on like this. We're going to put our new filter on the same way. Slide that back. Get it connected. You heard it click. It's on secured. Do the same thing with the front one. All right, there you go, and we're all done. All right, and right after you get your fuel filter connected, make sure you go ahead and just spray down each side with some brake parts cleaner to just clean the fuel off. You don't want that fuel just sitting there. Now let's go ahead and start up the car so that way we can get our fuel pressure in the lines. All right, I'm gonna pop the gas cover back on. Let's go ahead. I'm going to turn the key on and then off a few times. It will slowly start to cycle some fuel pressure in the line. And one more time. Now let's start it up. There we go. She's running good. It's gonna take a second for some fuel to actually saturate that filter. So you might have some weird fluctuating idle for a few minutes, but you can go ahead, let the car idle, and then wait until it stabilizes and go take it for a drive. All right, guys, and the only thing that you need to do now after you verified that it is running, go ahead and pop that cover back on, and then you are 100% done. And make sure you dispose of the fuel filter properly. Make sure all the fuel's drained out of it. Let it just like dry out for a few days. Keep it in a well-ventilated area. Like if you have a garage, just keep it over in the corner, and then just throw it away whenever it's completely all evaporated. But that's it, guys. It took me about 20 minutes and we're all done. It's one of those things that if you're at 150,000 miles, you're noticing the car is running kind of weird and it's been like over a decade, you should just go ahead and replace that fuel filter. It's very inexpensive and it's pretty simple to do. So anyways, like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm going to link everything I used in the description below. So if you liked the video and it helped you out, awesome. And like always, guys, I'll catch you on the next ride.